K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com. K98talk.com, a leader in internet radio. So grab your seatbelts and take the ride of your life on K98talk.com.
On the 405.
One shot, baby, there you go again. 2 shots and I think you know again. 3 shots come, you might find your daddy gone. 1 shot, baby, there you go again.
And welcome to Unapologetically Bunny. I am your host, your friendly neighborhood conservabitch, aka the Bunny. And we are live right here on the 405. Conservabitch, did you catch that? Yeah, that's a new one. That's a new one I got called today, bestowed upon me by a guy named Brendan on Twitter. Hello, Brendan on Twitter. What a funny conservabitch. I totally dig that. It's like a robot that's like part conservative, part bitch, and part rabbit. Conservabitch. I dig it. Yeah, it was interesting because Brendan didn't happen to look at my account on Twitter before he decided to troll me. And odds are he thought by the sweet little smile on my little pink cheeks that I was going to curl up into a little ball and cry myself to sleep when he trolled me. You know, they have this idea of conservative women that we are meek and quiet and do as we are told, and that our husbands barely let us use the internet, let alone that we have a personality of our own. Yeah, he learned out really quickly, the hard way, guys, too, that he was not dealing with a stereotype when he talked to me. Especially if you know me in social media, you know that wasn't going to happen. Long story short, he actually ended up he was the one who ended up in a ball crying, complaining about the hornet's nest he kicked and locking down his account. Silly trolls, they never learn. Yeah, he came at me thinking he was going to put me in my conservative place, and boy, oh boy, my bunny army really destroyed him, and he got so upset. He subtweeted about the conservabitch and locked down. There was another one, and I know I need to get going on this show, but these are just too funny to talk about. So there was another one called Dr. Learn-A-Lot. Yeah, I'm not making that name up. Dr. Learn-A-Lot. Yeah, she was saying that the GOP is actually hostile to the less fortunate. You know, like we're out there kicking orphans and starving old people who have nothing because, you know, that's just who we are. So I asked her, I said, hey, can you tell me why you think that? Truly looking at that point to maybe have a dialogue about why she would think the GOP is hostile towards the less fortunate. You know, she got rambling on about how the GOP is killing jobs and that we hate people making what they're worth and blah, 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 blah. And I tried to explain to her that it's actually federal regulations that are taking away from small businesses, that are making it nearly impossible for these folks to do business, not to mention the federal minimum wage. The law itself allows corporations to pay people a minimum. They don't get that that's a bad thing. I don't know how you can explain that. We actually have a law in place that says you're only worth this much, and I can legally pay you that because the feds say it's okay. I don't understand how anybody goes, this is a good thing. You know, if I'm McDonald's and I know that I'm going to pay you $8 and Burger King is going to pay you $8, why would I pay you more? I don't have to. I don't have to compete. Well, I tried very nicely to explain that to Dr. Learn-A-Lot. And apparently schooling Dr. Learn-A-Lot got me blocked. So, long story short, too late. It was an interesting day in social media, and I am a conservative bitch. And welcome to the show. I'm so glad y'all are back with me again this week. we have a fun-filled chainsaw starting show for you tonight. And my guests include, and I hope I say this right because I made them write it down for me because I did not want to butcher their name, title, rank, and all that good stuff. But I have retired Army Staff Sergeant Daryl Fatula, who was in the 2003 Iraq invasion with 6'6" Cav out of Stork Barracks in Germany, and Gunny Dave. And the reason I wanted to do this show, and it's going to sound kind of serious, but I think we need to have a chat about why. I don't think it's ever a bad idea or a bad time to do a show with the vets because we owe them so much. They do so much and get so little in return that the very least we can do is talk about what they need and what they get and what they don't get. But a few weeks ago, I was on Twitter. Shocking, I'm never on Twitter, but I was on Twitter and I had a follower bring a vet to my attention. And, he said that he was very concerned about this vet and that there were some ominous tweets on the vet's timeline. And so I went to the timeline and I started looking through them, and he was right. There were tweets about goodbye, I'm sorry, I just couldn't do this anymore. I don't know why I bothered serving. They hate us more here than they did over there. The tweets were really, really negative and really just heartbreaking. And so a bunch of us tried to reach the vet on social media. We were tweeting him. We were trying to find his family, any friends, if they knew where he was. And upon getting no response from the vet, I got really nosy. I have a really bad habit of being nosy. I got really nosy and decided to start digging for information to try and find him and determine his location. And through so many of you folks out there are so many good people out there, you guys. We talk about the idiots and the morons, but there are so many good people. And y'all helped me find his real location. We determined where he was, and we were able to contact the local police department, who, thank God, took me seriously. There's nothing like calling a police officer and going, "Hi, I saw this tweet on Twitter, and please don't think I'm crazy, but I'm really worried this guy's going to hurt himself." They took me seriously. They didn't laugh at me, and they went and found the vet. And luckily, the well check proved that he was okay. And but my concern is that for everyone that's okay, there are several who are not. The statistic is that roughly 22 vets are taking their lives every day. That's every day, guys. And so in my opinion, we need to find a way to better support them and talk to them about what's going on, and maybe have a bigger dialogue. And I know we talk about their benefits and we talk about how we can support them financially and what the government should be doing and shouldn't be doing. We do a lot of that, but we don't talk enough about what we as citizens can do to support them, what we as friends, neighbors, and family can do to support them. And so tonight, when I bring on Gunny and I bring on Daryl, I expect it to be R-rated, just so you know, because they're vets. So if your kids are listening, put some headphones on. But I also think it's going to be really good to talk to these guys because, they were there. They understand more than we could possibly understand. And I really have a lot of faith that they will bring something to the conversation that's bigger and better than what I can bring to the conversation. So that's kind of tonight's show, and a big gifted package. We're going to talk about top 10 douchebags. We're going to talk about trolls. We're going to talk about vets. So we have a very busy show, and we only have 60 minutes to do it in. Hey, I'm kind of organized though tonight, believe it or not. I have my nice little list put together. I have paperwork done so I don't get off topic, which I will anyway because you know me. But I'm hoping, beyond hope, that I will stay on track because there are important things to talk about tonight. And that is especially about our vets and what we can do as citizens to support them in better ways. Yeah. Today I have to go back to my trolls because it was really funny. And, we're going to take a break here shortly. But before I get to the break, I have to talk about the trolls. And I have to talk about the bunny army a little bit. Guys, the bunny army is such a great thing. If you're not in social media, please get in social media. We need you out there. But if you are on Twitter, you are part of the bunny army. The big joke is, there are nations, there are teams, there are families. I have an army, and God bless all of you for being part of my army. What was really great today was when that Brendan fellow, he really started getting in my space and was trying to make me feel badly about myself. It was all about how could he dehumanize and make me a bad person. And me, I didn't take any of that. Oh, hold on a second. I have a phone call coming in. Just one second. Oh, gosh. Wait. I hope that's Paul. Hello? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I got a weird phone call and I completely hung up. I think I was getting pranked. Paul, is that you? Who's that?
Uncle Joe, I told you.
Uncle Joe? Wait, is this Joe Biden?
The vice president
Oh,
in the flesh.
in the flat. Well, thank you for calling this evening, Mr. Vice President. What can we do for you here at
I
Unapologetically
want to
Funny?
know, is this the wild girl of conservatism?
Uh, that depends on what you mean by wild girl of conservatism.
Wild thing, I think I love you.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. Did you have something to bring up? We're talking about vets tonight, Mr. Vice President. Is there something you'd like to bring up about that topic?
I took my dog to the vet last week.
Oh, you did. Well, no, that's not the right kind of vet, Mr. Vice President. We're talking about th those who served our country.
Oh, yeah, I know all about them.
Well, okay. Well, we're
Let me
talking.
ask you, let me ask you something, Bunny.
Sure, absolutely. I'm just flattered that you took time to
What,
call.
what kind of hair care products you use?
What kind of hair care products? I
Nothing
actually.
better than a good smelling woman.
Oh, no, that's just kind of, no, that's creepy. No, I actually, I take very good care of my hair. I appreciate that. Did you have anything to offer about tonight's topic on vets, sir?
I want to know. Open a beer.
Oh, excuse you.
You going to CPAC?
Oh, I will not be there this year, Mr. Vice President, but I appreciate that very much. It just didn't
Word
happen.
on the street is I give a hell of a back rub. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's terrifying. And I won't be there. And while I appreciate the sentiment, sir, no, I won't be there. Thank you for asking.
Many have come to the Oval Office. Whoopity-doo!
The Oval.
You and me, wild thing, can go to the Oval Office.
I think we lost the Vice President.
Yeah,
Did you
well,
hang him up or did he hang?
I hung him up. You wasted enough time putting me on the hold. We didn't need to waste time with that idiot.
Oh my gosh, that was so creepy. Oh my, hey, the Vice President just prank called me. I think he was drunk dialing. Well, on that happy note, let's take let's take a short break so that I can get a drink of water and collect myself from being told about the oral office. And we'll be right back with our top 10 douchebags. Stay put.
You're on the 405.
Remember, the bigger they are,
I am creepy.
unapologetically bunny!
Are you currently waging war against the infidel? Dreaming of the day you can become a martyr and yet Allah Akbar with bombs strapped to your chest? Stop! You don't commit acts of terror over religious fanaticism. You commit acts of terror because you don't feel you have a chance to earn a career. Well, now you can find a career that's right for you at
jihadjobs.com.
At jihadjobs.com, you'll find dream careers like camel breeder, goat shaver, hummus chef, desert realtor, and so much more. You'll also find those careers with competitive pay and other tremendous benefits like extended bereavement time if your family member was a suicide bomber, 48 hours of maternity leave,
Not for women.
and much more. Introduce yourself to another bank besides the West Bank. Stop waging war against the USA and start contributing to your 401k. Stop raping, start reaping the rewards of an exciting career at
jihadjobs.com.
your new career is just a stone's throw away. jihadjobs.com.
Website is for men only and approved under Sharia law. All women who access the website will be stoned to death. Other restrictions apply. Consult Allah for details.
jihadjobs.com.
Oh, no, we're doing professional radio here, but I'm jihadjobs.com. You guys, you're on here on Unapologetically Bunny, and I gotta tell you, Jason, DeWilkins is responsible for that spot. And while I have listened to it a couple of times already, I'm still laughing when I hear it. He is so talented, he is so creative, and he makes this all funnier for his spot. So if you get a chance, oh my gosh, listen to his show, listen to his spots, and thank him for making us all laugh, because sometimes if we don't laugh, we're going to cry. And we are back from break. I love the piece that says "not for women." It's only a stone's throw away. It's so clever, and I wish I'd come up with something that great, and I did not. And thank you, Jason. And we are back after being crank called and drunk dialed by the Vice President of the United States. Being called a wild girl of conservatism by Joe Biden is really creepy, just so you guys know. Okay, and speaking of creepy, we have this week's top 10 douchebags. As you know, the good people on social media nominate these folks for the list. They do not come from the bunny, although occasionally I will toss one in. I really like to make it from you, so you guys are part of this show, because you give me your time every week. You have something vested in it, so you get to hear your nominations if we took them. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. At number 10 is Representative Luis Gutierrez. They say he's a congressman and a race-baiting whore. Hey now, and I didn't write that one. Apparently, we know that Representative Gutierrez, clearly he wants amnesty, and I guess he got on some tirade that said that if you're illegal, that it's a race, and people really are tired of hearing that illegal is a race. Illegal is meaning you broke the law, sir. It means you came into this country, you broke the laws, you did not do as we've asked you to do, you disrespect us from the get-go. It's not a race. There is not some, it's not black, white, illegal, and that's just not how it works. Illegal means you broke the law. It does not mean that I'm racist if I have a problem with you being here illegally. It means that I have a problem with you breaking the law, just like anybody else who is against the whole amnesty and giving people this get-out-of-jail-free card. So no. At number 10, Representative Luis Gutierrez, you are a douchebag. At number 9 is Anjem Choudary. I know I'm going to say it wrong. Welcome to Bunny. I can never say people's last names. He's a gentleman. He's a Muslim in London. He's very outspoken about Islam, and he's been complaining about Obama, which is really interesting because Obama's busy kissing their ass, and he has a real problem saying he's a liar and that he's out to get people. And this is what one of his tweets says. It says, "The fact is the U.S. and Obama are at war with Islam and Muslims. Obama is a barefaced liar, Pinocchio, and an enemy of Allah, the messenger, and Muslims." Well, while Anjem and I probably disagree, probably agree that Obama is a Pinocchio, we disagree on the whole that we are at war with them. Last time I checked, we weren't the ones cutting people's heads off and stoning women to death. We were not the ones attacking whole villages of people and setting them on fire. That is not what America has been doing. And so I do not see that we are at war with them. They really have been at war with the world for 1,500 years. And that's what people forget. America's been around, 263 or something. We've not been around 239. That was what it was today. 239 years. And a war has been waged for 1,500. Who has the war here, sir? And you are a douchebag at number 9. Number 8 is Debbie Wasserman Schultz for whining at GOPers because Giuliani said Obama isn't patriotic. She said moderate GOPers should be condemning what he said about Obama not being patriotic. She was doing what the left likes to do. She put us all in a neat little bucket and said, this group of people sucks and they're saying horrible things and shame on them for not doing what we want them to do. I don't think they understand what patriotism really is. Patriotism is loving your country and the government when it deserves it. And I can't remember, I think it was Mark Twain who said that. This is not about saying that Obama doesn't love his government. Clearly he does. But there have been doubts that he loves his country, and I don't know that he is patriotic. So really, why would we condemn Rudy Giuliani for saying something we probably agree with him on? Yeah, plus her hair. We had a whole discussion about her hair on Twitter today, and we tried to bring in this cosmetologist or beautician, or I don't know what they are at this point, but she'd have to be a genius to fix Debbie's hair. We talked about bringing in an exorcist, a blowtorch, pliers. It was a lot of fun. And at number 8, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you are a douchebag. Number 7 is David Axelrod for his claim that there have been no scandals during this administration. think about that for a minute. No scandals during this administration. You know, the IRS and Benghazi and Fast and Furious and any of these smidgens of corruption. Yeah, not a one of them apparently. No scandals. No scandals in this administration. Wow, David. David, you know, I realize that you have a base of people who support you, who are somewhat ignorant and uninformed and do as you're told, and they believe what you tell them to, but they don't think for themselves. So, you know, you think they're going to buy that, and they probably are. Yeah, you're right, David. This administration kicks ass. But I'm sorry, those of us who think for ourselves know better. We know there have been plenty of scandals within this administration, and we know you are a douchebag at number 7. Oh, number 6, guys. Sally Cohn, and Sally has made the list like 3 weeks in a row. Sally. Now, Sally was complaining a lot like Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and she was saying that we should denounce Giuliani. You know, Sally, why are you always on the wrong side of an issue? You know, how many times have people on the left said horrible things about people on the right? Where has Sally been then? Denouncing those things. You know, she only denounces what is convenient for whatever agenda she's working on that day. You know, and she has been big on the whole we shouldn't be at war with Islam. It's only these certain people, it's random acts, and it's loan this and loan that, and we are giving them what they want if we fight them. You know, she's really been on a tear about not kicking ISIS in the ass. For whatever reason, she wants us to babysit them and give them jobs. We'll get to that later. Jihadijobs.com. I'm dying. But, you know, she's just wrong. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm wrong, she just doubles down on stupid every time, doesn't she? So at number 6, for the 3rd week in a row, Sally Cohn, you are a douchebag. At number 5, I did add this one, ladies and gentlemen. This was my little tidbit this week. I'm going to put on the social justice warriors. Yes, I'm going to put them on my list tonight because I want to give a shout out to my guests last week from Gamergate who really brought it to light, talked to us about, you know, it's bigger than the video game because so many of us didn't understand what the big argument was because so many of us aren't gamers. And to understand that it was beyond the game, that it was bigger than playing in a group. It was actually a message coming from people who think they're smarter and better than you are, telling them what they will think, what they will play, what they will say, what they will do. It was horrible to hear what was going on. And these are the same people who have been harassing yours truly probably for 2 years, but for different reasons, of course. For me, you know, the social justice warriors hate me because I am a woman who is not a feminist, and so many of them are feminists, so I must be destroyed. So talking to my Gamergate guests last week, I felt a real connection there. And so for me, I give them a shout out, and I'm going to talk about the social justice warriors being douchebags at number 5. Any one group of people who think they have the right to censor and tell people what to think or say or support are douchebags. So social justice warriors, aka hyenas. I've been calling them hyenas for a long time. I think SJW is way nicer, maybe. Social justice wusses, I don't know. But they're douchebags at number 5. At number 4, and this just cracked me up, the morons who voted for Obama. I think that one speaks for itself, don't you? So at number 4, you morons who voted for Obama, some of you twice, you're douchebags at number 4. At number 3 is Joe Biden, the creepy uncle who called me earlier. Man, I'm getting drunk dialed by the Vice President of the United States. That poor woman. Kidding? I think she was basically sexually harassed in front of the world. The look on her face when he put his hands on her shoulders and whispered into her hair, where are the feminists now? Why aren't they calling this out? He manhandled her. She is bright red and clearly uncomfortable. I bet she threw up in her mouth. That's mine. But no, where are the women saying, we don't accept this and you should apologize and quit manhandling women? Only a week after his butt buddy reference. Oh my God, people. Joe Biden is just a train wreck and he's a douchebag at number 3. Number 2 is Marie Harf. Hey. First she said we can get rid of ISIS by killing them. And I kind of disagree. If you kill them, they're gone. And then she said, these folks just really need jobs. Forget that the terrorist mastermind behind ISIS used to push paper as an administrative assistant. The dude was a secretary. The head of ISIS was a secretary, apparently had a job, and that didn't keep him from cutting people's heads off and setting them on fire. Marie Harf, you were wrong, you were crazy, you were nuts, and you were a douchebag at number 2. At number 1, as always, ladies and gentlemen, it is the President of the United States, Obama himself. This week he's nominated for his summit to combat extremist violence, which is really lefty speak for, hey, that's ISIS, but we don't want to say ISIS because we might actually hurt their feelings and stuff. Because that, in their minds, that's how they will work with ISIS, is they will pander to them and keep them from hating them, when we all know they chop their heads off just as fast as anybody else's. And I'm sure he's happy to talk about how the Christians and the Crusades did horrible things, and he'll talk about, the Klan and other things, but he won't mention who we know really is the worst of the worst, and that is ISIS. And guess what ISIS stands for? It's Islam. Oh my gosh, I'm so mean. I guess I'm a racist, although I don't think Islam is a race, but I can't keep it straight these days. Okay, that is our top 10 douchebags of the week. I'm going to take a short break, and when I come back, I'm going to have Gunny and Daryl on the show with me, so stay put.
On the 405.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes and, listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works. President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before. Did someone say green? Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind? Now, do you say good things about me on the show? No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much. The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation. Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo? I got a pen. I can veto that, I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it. Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either. That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the 405. Remember, the bigger they are,
I am, remake.
Unapologetically, buddy!
And we are back from the break here on Unapologetically Bunny. I am your conservative bitch host, the Bunny. And boy, I'm telling you, the breaks are funnier than the shows. Thank you, Jason, for those. Gunny and Daryl, do I have you on the line?
Of course.
I see your one.
Yeah, I'm here.
Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to need to know whose voice is whose so I don't get confused. Gunny, you say A.
Hey.
Okay, so, and Daryl, you're B. I got you. Thanks, guys, for
Bravo.
sitting on there. Awesome. Gunny, Daryl has been on the show before, so he has some experience dealing with me. So if you have any problems, talk to Daryl. Okay. We talked earlier today because I needed a game plan because I have you both on the line with me and I have to be able to keep up with you. Gunny, I'm going to ask you first. Why are you a conservative instead of a leftist? What made you choose that path? Get it out of your system.
I think I grew up in a military family, and can you hear that?
I hear you. You're fine.
I grew up in a military family, so I think the military, just by nature, is conservative. I know there's some liberal military guys out there going, "You're full of shit," but
yes,
it's true. I think it's true. I grew up with certain values that my dad beat into me, and so it was no, like, hey, I'm a liberal now. That guy's an idiot, and all of a sudden I'm a conservative. That wasn't it. I think I was born this way.
You are inherently a conservative. Yeah. Daryl, why are you not a leftist?
Okay, well, there's basically three political cultures. There's moralistic, individualistic, and traditional. And the military is pretty much an individualistic culture onto itself. And, we believe in being able to take care of ourselves, and it pretty much fits into the individualistic culture as opposed to the leftist. I want Uncle Sugar taking care of me. I want to live off the proverbial tit for the rest of my life.
Sure.
Type of deal with lefties.
And I think that's really interesting because you guys technically have worked for the government. They owe you something like that. They owe you pay. They owe you benefits. And both of you say, yeah, I don't want to live off that. I think that says so much about our military. In my mind, you are the first ones we should be taking care of because you are the guys who make it possible for me to be on this show and talk shit about lefties. I mean, without you, I don't have this freedom. So I think, Daryl, you saying that by saying we don't want to live off the proverbial tit, it is such a huge statement about who our soldiers and vets are.
And me myself, currently, I'm retired from the Army.
Mm-hmm.
I could live off of the pay that I'm getting from Uncle Sugar the rest of my life.
Uncle Sugar.
But what I want to do is I'm going back to school to become a teacher so I can influence today's youth.
Oh God, we need that because so many of these teachers and that, no disrespect, because I know there's some great teachers out there, but I read a study that 97% of Ivy League professors donated money to Obama. We so need people who really teach. So I had no idea you wanted to do that, Daryl. That's cool. I had no idea. Are you in school now?
Yes, I'm currently in school, and I am skipping my Texas government and English class to go to CPAC next week.
Bad
and
kid.
Meet up with the hair.
Oh, you're gonna hang out with hair. I am jealous for hanging out with hair. Give him a big smooch for me. Okay, so guys, the main reason
hair doesn't like lipstick.
Oh, but come on, come on, he'll do that. Tell him it's from me. Give him a big wet one. Okay. The reason I brought you guys on, besides the fact I just wanted to hang out and talk to you because I have so much fun with you guys on social media, I want to talk a little bit about PTSD. And, I don't know if you guys want to take turns and you answer it your own way, but we hear so much about it. And what I'm wondering is from vets, what is PTSD?
Do you want me to take the lead on this, Dave?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Okay, well, here's the deal with PTSD. Unlike what Feinstein says, Feinstein thinks that PTSD is something that just came about during the Iraq War because of the evil W.
Yes, she blames him. I've heard her do that. I forgot about that. Yes, it's W's fault that we have PTSD now. Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, like during I think it was during the Korean War, they didn't call it PTSD. They called it shell shock.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what shell shock or PTSD is a psychiatric injury. It is not a mental illness. It is a psychiatric injury. It's like if you wind up falling off of a ladder and breaking your bone, you would have to wait for your bone to be able to repair itself. So it's an injury. It's not a mental illness.
Right. So it is a condition. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Just to leftists, it's a mental problem because then if they declare it a mental problem, they can take away our guns and take away other freedoms from us if they he's got PTSD, he's mentally unstable, we're gonna take his guns and that's just how leftists are.
They are. You're absolutely right, and that is so frustrating to those of us who understand, and I appreciate that definition because even I who support our vets and try what I can do with PTSD, I don't know enough about it in that regard to be helpful. And so when the vet was talking about taking his life, I didn't know how to help him. And so what I really want to do by talking about this tonight, and I know it's bigger than this, 20 minutes with you guys, but I want to find a way that we can better understand so that we can do more to help people so that it's not some frantic phone call at 11:30 at night. I don't want it to get to that point. You know what I mean? So what do we do, guys? How do we help?
Well, probably the best way to help is to actually care and just listen, because like part of PTSD is shame, and shame is the most painful emotion that you can think of. So if a vet is feeling shame and he's keeping it to himself and just sucking it up and driving on, and it's like, ask him, are you doing okay? You're pretty much taught in the military, suck it up and drive on, and you wind up getting told that you're selfish if you don't seek help.
So how do I, because, what can we do that, because I don't want to be insulting. I don't want anyone to think that, because I understand that sense of I will take care of myself. I will push on. Anything less than is weak. How do we breach that without putting somebody in a position to feel weak, or that we're talking down to them, or that we are saying something's wrong? Because, Gunny, to your point, the left has really done, and I'm sorry, but they do a much better job marketing than we do, and they have really pushed this point home that our vets coming home with PTSD should not have weapons, and that they have scared people so badly with this universal background check that we have to protect people from the crazy vets. How do we get past that? How do we make sure, if I say, Gunny, are you doing okay? How do I do that without making you feel like I'm talking down to you, or I'm treating you like a child? Go ahead, Gunny.
We can sit here all day and debate this kind of stuff, but I guess we have to get out there. We have to know these vets. A lot of Americans, we've been at war for 10 years, and there's a lot of Americans out there that still know not one person that went to that war.
Yeah.
We got to get out. We got to get to know them. You can listen to Daryl. Daryl is a PTSD. He has PTSD. He's a normal guy to us.
Yeah.
All of them are like that. All of them are normal. There's nothing wrong with them other than that psychiatric injury that he was talking about. And we just need to get out there, and we need to meet people, meet veterans, go to veterans events and things like that, and get to know them.
So instead of maybe it's a great point. So maybe instead of waiting to get a panicked tweet from someone saying, oh my gosh, I think this guy's in trouble, maybe get beyond even Twitter or join groups on Twitter and be a part of the conversation and get to know them. Because honestly, and this is just from me observing and watching Daryl talk about the VA, I know the VA is not doing enough for folks with PTSD. Right now.
The VA isn't doing enough, and I think probably the most important thing is you do not want to let veterans reach the crisis point.
Yeah.
Like if you just treat them like they're normal people, if you interact with them enough, you can tell by the look in their eyes how they're feeling. Just interact with them and treat them like they're human, as opposed to like with Zippy. He thinks that soldiers are like a microwave oven, and once the microwave oven starts going bad, you just toss them in the dumpster.
And I think that is actually a really good analogy. It's a sad analogy, but it is accurate. And we're going to talk a little bit about this in here shortly, but I can't imagine, and maybe, Gunny, you can speak to this, what is it like to serve under a president who clearly has just disdain for you and who really doesn't support what you're doing? How do you serve? How do you keep going?
You know what? I told my son, straight C and chillin', because he serves under Zippy right now. He's a sergeant machine gunner.
Sure.
I told him, I said, you're not doing it for the president. You're not doing it for the government of the United States. You're doing it for the United States. And there's a big difference between the government of the United States and the United States itself.
Right.
And I think that's something else that leftists don't fucking get is that, you know, this is a country. It's a whole country. 330 million people. It's not one guy.
Yeah.
One guy who's a fucking piece of shit anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and these guys fucking worship this dude, man.
They do.
I guess it just bugs the hell out of me because, you know, so I told my son, I said, you're doing it for the United States. You know, you're doing it for your mom, you're doing it for your sister and your brother, and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of funny how leftists conflate, you know, President Barack Obama with the United States when there is no comparison at all.
No.
The United States is just so much bigger than that one guy. And
you know, and that's a great point.
This is a great country.
It is, and you
He's
bring up a
piece of
point.
shit.
Well, he is. You know? At least he's not drunk dialing at me like the vice president. That was a hoot. No, and your point falls into the line of Debbie was a man, Schultz, and Sally Cohn, and all of the hyenas bitching and moaning because Rudy Giuliani said Obama's not patriotic.
He's a bitch.
And you guys just described it perfectly. Gunny, you said United States is bigger than one man. And it's all about loving country and doing it for country, not doing it for one man. You understand patriotism. And Daryl, I know you do too. And yes, he is a bitch. So, I mean, really, we cannot explain that to the left, because in the left, it is all about servitude. It is all about he's the commander in chief and you'll do as you're told. And he's a bitch. Sorry, that killed me.
When let's see, what was it? I found out that I was going into Iraq on St. Patrick's Day, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled across the border on 21 March 2003. When I was in the back of the truck, about to cross the berm into Iraq, and half of the truck was smokers, and the other half wasn't smokers. Right before we went into the border, we were all smokers.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, we all were. And when one of my soldiers handed out cigars, and we put the cigars in our M16 butts, and we were supposed to smoke the cigars the day we came out of Iraq.
Yeah.
Little did I know that I'd wind up coming out of Iraq approximately a year later. And when I rolled into Iraq, I knew I was coming home. And the reason I knew I was coming home is because I was with my brothers when I crossed the border.
Well, and so for civilians, guys, you need to, and I hate to think we're separate, but we have no way of understanding and knowing the bravery and that connection and that dedication. I cannot imagine being that selfless and fearless. And I'm not even just being nice to you because you're wrong. Because, I'm not nice. That's not me. I'm not just being nice. There's no way for us to understand that. And so when you tell those stories, if you make me cry on my show, I'll punch you, Daryl. You know how that goes.
Well, honestly, like for me, when we were in Iraq, headed to Objective Rams, a mortar went off pretty close to our truck, and I remember getting like this warm, fuzzy feeling and getting tunnel vision. And probably the best way to put it is I was scared shitless, but and I heard in the back of the truck every single one of my brothers M16s putting a round in the chamber at the same time that I did, because we were ready to fucking shoot.
You were going to fight. You're ready to fight. And
Yeah.
And so really, I guess, because Obama irritates me in general, and policy irritates me. I have
He's
no
a piece
way.
of shit.
Yeah, well, I have no way of having that experience, though, because I don't have that relationship with my brothers like you do. And you're seeing your brothers being treated like second-class citizens in this country. Gunny, I got to ask you, when you see the president talking about bringing in the illegals and giving them all these great things and giving jobs to jihadis, when we have vets out of work and going without, sound off, sir.
It's just ridiculous. I try not to listen to them because I just get, pissed off a little bit. But it's ridiculous. We've been at war for 10 years. These guys, some of the Army guys were over there for a long-ass time. I mean, Marines were over there for 7 months at a time. Same rotation schedule, I guess. And these guys come back and they get out of the Army, and Daryl was talking about it earlier. They feel, when they got PTSD, when they start feeling worthless and shit like that, that's when they get suicidal and all that kind of crap. And when you don't have a job and you're sitting around and your family's wondering what the hell's going on and stuff like that, and you need a job, and this guy's giving them to people that don't deserve them.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, they've done everything. It's just it gets kind of frustrating after a while,
Yeah, I do know.
It's just fucking frustrating, and sometimes I get so pissed off that I just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. I just want to beat the crap out of every single fucking leftist out there. And
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's so nice to hear someone else saying that besides me, Gunny. You have no idea, because I am always the mean one.
and here's something, Bunny. For these idiot leftists that say that, raise the wage. It'll help vets.
No, it doesn't.
And the other thing is, it's like, you worthless piece of shit. No veteran deserves $7.25 an hour. They deserve a lot more than $7.25 an hour after what they did. And fuck you if you're gonna give it to some piece of shit illegal alien that snuck across the border. What did they do for the country? Nothing. They came here to take.
Well, and that's the unfortunate reality of our country right now is we have more takers and less makers. And we are on a downward spiral, guys. We gotta find a way to get out of it. And you bring up a good point. But here's the thing: and you brought up the thing with the minimum wage, and I say, they're screaming, raise the wage, and all the unions are out there, and I say, no, get rid of the wage, and then they say, you hate vets. Oh my God, you guys!
No.
I hate
vets.
Yes.
For crazy haired Debbie, she doesn't help veterans. That fucking bitch blocked me, and I'm a veteran.
She blocked me.
She can go fuck herself.
She blocked me before I ever spoke to her. For being such, they want to be in touch. They want to dialogue as long as you agree with them. She blocked me. I never even spoke to her. I went to retweet something. I thought she was stupid. This was months ago. And I was like, oh my God, I'm blocked. I've never spoken to this woman. Yeah, I get preemptively blocked a lot. But you bring a really good point, Daryl. As a vet, she should not block you at all. You should be able to say, you should be able to say whatever you want and not get blocked to people who serve. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and she can go fuck herself. Barbara Bach can fuck herself. And Feinstein can go fuck herself, too.
Paul, when we do the podcast, we're going to have to put the disclaimer on it. Sorry. It's usually me who's dropping the F-bombs, guys, so I'm not used to hearing it. I'm just laughing. I'm sorry. It's awesome. And, yes, it's a good thing about internet radio is you can say fucking shit as much as you want, and, people can either listen or they don't have to, and nobody gets in trouble. Yet. Don't get me started on net neutrality. And Daryl, you brought something up when we were talking in email, and I want to get to it. I want to talk to you guys about the Middle East and what Obama is doing with ISIS. Having served, knowing you guys know how this works, what should he be doing that he's not? Gunny, do you want to go first?
Okay.
Or Daryl? You go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah, I'm going to go first on this one. That cocksucker should have never pulled us out in 2011.
Yes.
In 2011, what Zippy should have done is he should have gotten a sofa and kept 10,000 soldiers there, or, military personnel there with air support and armor. And ISIS, all that genocide would not be happening right now.
Well, but he made a campaign promise. Don't you know? He promised he'd get us out, so he just did it. He didn't care.
Yeah, but I'm sure, what was the girl's name? The relief worker that was just killed by ISIS recently.
What was her name? Mueller? I'll have to look it up. Go ahead.
Mueller, I think it was.
Yeah.
Do you think that Obama's campaign promise means anything to the parents of the girl who had her head cut off?
No. Oh, but they sent pictures to her family to make sure that they knew she was dead. Because they're caring that way. They wanted to make sure her family knew. They are horrible, evil people. And
we have a worthless piece of shit commander-in-chief.
Well, he thinks we can talk to him. He thinks that we should go over there with diplomacy and targeted strikes. I say we just blow the fuckers up and be done with it.
Oh, well,
what am I missing?
Honestly, do you know what works really Do you know what works really well against Islamic Jihad? 30 Mike rounds, flechettes, point detonation rockets, and Hellfire missiles. It'll turn ISIS into tomato soup.
And why aren't we doing that? We clearly know these are the bad guys. It's not like, well, I'm not really sure. No, we see what they're doing. They chopped off 21 Egyptians' heads. They called them crusaders.
Because Obama's a bitch.
They called them crusaders. It was a dig at what he said about Christianity and Christians doing horrible things in the name of Jesus. And we do nothing. We give them fucking jobs. And I'm sorry I had to say the F word because they were saying it more than I was. We give them jobs. We say we should take care of these bastards. No.
That is, she's an idiot. The only reason why Obama appoints anyone is because they're yes men.
She's pretty.
And she's a yes man.
Yes, she is. Gunny, you said you wanted to just punch a bunch of leftists. I think you and I should go hang out some night and just get really drunk and do that. They're going to listen to my show.
Freaking New Jersey is fucked up. I'm telling you.
Because, I have people on the left who listen to my show who hate me, and they listen so they can bitch at me after the show. And they're like, I knew you were violent. You and that Gunny. I can just hear it now.
They can kiss my ass. I don't give a fuck.
You know what? They can kiss my ass, too. I love that. Yes. Well, what you do, so, Gunny, let's say that Obama says, come into my office and don't punch him. You go into his office, and he says, tell me what to do. So Daryl says what we do. What would you do in the Middle East at this point?
Taking into account that ISIS is not a standing army like the Iraqi army was in 1990, 91. If you recall, Schwarzkopf took the 1st Marine Division and the couple of divisions of Army guys and just destroyed frickin' the Iraqi army and liberated Kuwait in less than a week.
Yep.
Gunny, we need boots on ground. That stupid piece of, Obama.
Oh, we're getting boots on the ground. I'll choke the motherfucker if he doesn't put boots on the ground. So,
guys,
you have to kill people to win a war, regardless of what Marie Harf says. We have to kill people to win a fucking war.
Yes, we do. And guess what? If you kill
them,
they go away.
I guarantee you right now, freaking Straight Scene Chillin' is fucking going crazy. He's fucking yelling at the radio, going, "You're damn right, Dad. You're damn right. I'm going to kill people."
You guys,
I guarantee you, he is, because he knows I'm right.
You're right.
Hey, Gunny, I don't know how to say Obama's a bitch in Arabic, but I'm pretty fucking sure that ISIS is saying that right now.
They're going to get tattooed on their butts. Guys, you know what? You've made my half an hour go by so fast. We have like 3 minutes already. I need you to tell people where they find you in social media, because you're not only very brilliant, but you're so inspiring and you make me want to go fight. So tell people where they find you. Daryl.
For me, it's 2009 Super Glide.
Okay.
On Twitter.
Okay, Gunny, you?
At Dave _USMC, and I ain't on Facebook.
Okay, so all Twitter. Guys, I can't thank you
and
enough.
shout out to Sean Hannity's hair.
Make sure you give Hair a big smooch for me while you're out there at CPAC next week. I'll be there next year.
I'll buy him dinner. I ain't smooching him.
Buy him dinner. Give him a punch, something from me. You both, I'm so thankful for your time. You have made me laugh. You've inspired me, and I want to go punch someone in the face now. Thank you, Gunny, for that.
Awesome.
All right, guys, have a good night. I will see you in social media. Stay out of jail.
All right, peace and chicken grease.
Peace and chicken grease. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, take it easy, Dave.
All right, Daryl, we'll see you.
Oh, that was awesome. You guys, it always goes by so quick. Big thanks for you all for sitting through and listening. I really enjoyed the drunk phone call from the vice president, and I really, really, really enjoyed talking to Daryl and Gunny. If you get a chance, please follow them on social media. I'm about done here, so please stay put and listen to Real Serious Nonsense with Angie and Clay next, and then after that is the Stafford Voice. I thank you for being here. I will see you in social media. Stay out of trouble, and we'll talk next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Non, je ne regrette rien, ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien, non, je ne regrette rien, car ma vie.
The staff of K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network is proud to announce that our very own Rowdy Rick Robinson has been selected as one of the top conservative talk show hosts in the nation for his program America Off the Rails. Again, congratulations to Rowdy Rick Robinson for a job well done and another reason to stay connected to K98 Talk and the Spark Radio Network. K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.